The watermelon sugar terrorist is at it again.
Is that his real name?
Yeah.
If he was
in my mind,
if this was a Netflix documentary, that would be his name when we finally bring him to justice.
The watermelon sugar killer.
Yes.
Harry Styles recently helped one of his young fans at a concert come out to their parents. I guess this was a girl coming out as a lesbian. I mean, you can surmise that, but who knows what you're coming out as these days. It could be a different species, or maybe you came out as a plant.
Yep.
So he stopped this concert that he was doing in Melbourne because this girl held up a sign that said, "Help me come out to my parents," and said she's sitting next to her mom, and her dad, suspiciously, is sitting in a different section of the arena. So take what you will from that. Harry takes notice of this sign. He pauses the entire show just to shout out this girl and her sign. And
she's probably not even gay. It's probably just a way to get
just
attention.
wants Harry Styles to notice her.
It kind of
that means you're straight if you're into Harry Styles.
It's giving that trend for a while when people were getting sick at shows and they would all stop their concerts to virtue signal.
Or if somebody would like pretend to get trampled, then they would be like, "Stop it right now!"
After
someone is in trouble.
After Astro World, everyone was like stopping their concerts, like, "Oh my god, they look like." Someone's like, "Oh my god, I love Harry Styles." Like, they're having a heart attack.
Or even
Stop!
like Billie Eilish would stop her shows if someone was like pretending to have a panic attack.
That's what I'm talking
which is
about.
like
Billie
not
Eilish.
an emergency at all.
Yeah.
But let's just like play the video here of him shouting out this fan and see what you guys think. Is this kind of an example of grooming?
Let's find out.
How do you spell that? Lovely. I've never heard that before. Fauve. Would you like me to read this out, Fauve?
Is it Fauvist in art style?
You seem nervous.
I don't
Are you
know.
ready? Don't have to.
The virtue signaling. You don't have
Hello,
to come
sign
out if
says,
it's not the right
Help
time.
me come out. My mum's next to me.
But isn't it like by your mom being next to you while you hold up the sign coming
You
out?
brought this gigantic piece of poster board with you while both of your parents were walking with
We'll
you.
find out later that the mom helped her make the sign.
Right, like what's going on here?
What does this sign mean, honey?
Dad is level 2, section 41.
The dad isn't sitting with
I feel
her.
like I could help.
How's your relationship with your
I
father?
feel like she might know. No, I mean,
You are at a Harry
said
Styles
it's on the
concert.
screen.
That's a girl, though.
But
So.
would you like us to
His
go through our love
outfit
on
is
soul
just
coming out process?
atrocious.
Can I get
The
some coming
rhinestone
out
shirt and
music?
the pleather pants.
I'm as you know, I'm very much anti-statist, but those pants should be punishable by law.
I'm uncomfortable just looking at them.
Yes.
They're playing coming out music.
Are we coming out like that?
Whatever that means.
Okay,
This is
here
what
we
it
go.
sounds like to come out.
Can I get some sparkles, please?
Oh, some sparkles.
We Libby Emmons was on IRL one night. You might have even been on this episode where they were talking about how there are no like American rituals anymore. All there is now is like coming out to your parents.
Coming out is your
Like that's the
tradition, or your coming of age is what she was
You're
meaning.
not
Like,
allowed to have like traditional coming of age
Yeah.
in America because that's sexist, misogynist.
you don't have debutante balls.
Nope.
You don't have, boys.
You can't have Sadie Hawkins dances
hunting
or dances
or
anything.
fishing
You can't have
or-
prom kings and queens because those are binaries. That's king and queen. That's not allowed. All you have now is, hey mom, hey dad, I'm going to Harry Styles concert. Will you come with me so I can tell you that I'm gay?
He starts using very like cultish language later in this video. Let's continue. And he's so excited because he knows this is going to get posted on Twitter where he can virtue signal about it, by the way. Like, he knows what's happening here.
Are you happy with the speed? You happy with the music? This suits the occasion? Okay.
It's a big occasion.
Come on, everybody. We're coming out tonight. Let's go.
Screams from hell.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
He's so insufferable.
It's done.
He's a showman. I'll give him that. He's a showman. He's annoying. But
Okay, wait. This last part is the creepiest.
to the heavens of freedom, foe. Enjoy yourself.
You rise to the heavens of freedom. The fact that anyone even thinks that, like, coming out as gay is a thing anymore is hilarious to me. Unless you're, like, Mormon or, like, intensely, like, you're from some, like, religious fundamentalist family. Coming out is not a thing.
Kind of have to come out as straight now.
Yeah, you have to reassure your parents that you still want to reproduce.
I like women.
Like, well, this was a girl, so I guess she.
I like boys.
I mean, the fact that most of Harry Styles' fans, the fact that most of Harry Styles' female fans are like lesbian or bisexual is just a testament to his lack of sex appeal as a man.
Yep.
But
somebody said,
I feel like this is just showing people that if they use being gay as a vector for, like, you know, getting attention, then it's going to work.
Yeah.
And it's like the easiest ploy that you can use to get attention.
And it's
quick, easy, cheap, costs $0 to come out as gay.
And you can just change your mind later.
Costs a lot of money to be in front row at Harry Styles concert, though.
You can just you can just change your mind later and become bisexual. Like I said, there's like 80%.
You don't need to prove it.
80% of the people in comics now are like bi because you can't prove otherwise. They're like
it's the like lowest effort way to insert yourself into a rung of oppression.
There was a time in Hollywood back in the day where you had to like where like gay men who were action stars had to have like literal beards with them, like women who would be hired to go with them to movie premieres and stuff like that to fake it so that they could appear normal. Now you have to pretend to be gay to be the norm in Hollywood to get any sort of play. Harry Styles is straight. He's not gay. He just wears
pleather and rhinestones, so he kind of, as Maddie Healy said, gets like the N-word pass for the gay community, where he can, you know, kind of pretend to be one of them.
Or Taika Waititi makes his movies that all have tons of queer baiting in it.
Exactly, yeah.
And people want to pretend like this is somehow oppression now. No, this is the most common and the most socially acceptable form of status here in America now.
And now all of these comments are praising him, saying, you know, even if you don't care for his music, there's no denying he's a great person.
It's like
good on you for giving back to the fans who support you.
It's like
giving them what?
It's like the Johnny Depp video. It's like these moments where he straightens.
Right, where he straightens Camille Vasquez's phone charger wire.
And they're like, he's such a gentleman.
Like, oh, he's like such a prime example of chivalry in our modern culture. Like, what are you talking about? He didn't do anything revolutionary.
Dude, the internet is breaking people's brains.
It really is. Like, do you know what it is to like interact as a human being?
You know what I think it is? I think like when you're like, if you're like my age, like there are points like, have you ever seen those memes where it's like somebody shows you something really vulgar and you say, that's enough internet for today?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's like a cutoff. Like if you're my age, maybe even like at your age they have it. But as we get older, there will be no sense for a person to be like, that is enough interneting for me today. It is time to go touch some grass.
Oh my
like
gosh.
There are periods, and I'm not kidding you, like when I get done with work and I'm upstairs or like I'm on my phone and I'm in like, I'll be up here, right? I'm done with work and I'm scrolling. I will eventually see something where I'm like, time to go skate. No more internet for me today. At the very least, I need 2 hours where I'm not looking at like an LCD screen of some sort. I need to get away from the curated information.
Yeah.
And as these new generations come through, I think that sense of when it's time to get off the computer or time to get off your phone, I think that's going to evaporate.
It's not even time to get off the computer when you're at a Harry Styles concert because you're recording the whole thing so that you can make him look good on Twitter when he helps a fan come out.
Dude.
All of these people in the comments severely need to touch grass, just like you said, because they're literally saying like, oh, this got me like tearing up, like I'm actually crying right now. Why am I getting so emotional? This is such a beautiful gesture.
And people want to pretend like media isn't the most powerful thing in the entire world.
For all we know, the girl in the audience who did this, given that she's with her parents right now, she probably is a minor, and she is getting conditioned by thousands of people screaming in excitement around her that the most exciting and valuable thing about her identity as a person, like the most important thing about her is that she is attracted to other women.
Yep.
Like, I mean, let alone thinking about like, you know, it being introspective about it for a second.
The only thing that matters now is who you want to sleep with.
It's the easiest way, like, to announce things about your sexual or gender identity. It's the easiest way to get attention, quick and easy, from literally thousands of people around you in person
for doing
and
nothing,
on the internet.
For doing nothing.
All you did was hold up a sign.
It's
mutually beneficial because then Harry Styles gets the clout out of looking like he's such a good guy and he has such a heart of gold just for like putting on a little show of his own narcissism about it.
It's I mean, what is
it's
it like?
so disheartening. This is where we're at right now.
Is this like his version of like Justin Bieber would like bring women up on like one woman up on stage per show
sing
and like,
One Less Lonely Girl
to a girl, right? So is it like is it like his weird 2023 version of that?
Maybe he should start doing like One Less Lonely Boy, so he's more inclusive. He brings up a gay fan on stage.
That's what he'll have to do if he eventually gets canceled one day for being religious and going to a church that supposedly doesn't like gay people. He will have to be like, look, I am with you guys. I am going to make One Less Lonely Boy, or One Less Lonely They Them. And
One Less Lonely Them.
He will make One Less Lonely Them.
Be One Less Lonely.
And that will end up being how he gets back in their good graces.
For some reason, I always like misinterpreted the meaning of that song in my head, like as a little joke to myself that he was like on the way to kill her.
Oh my God.
Like there's gonna be one less lonely girl.
You that says a hell of a lot more.
But I
about
was a
you.
believer.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. I was a big Justin Bieber fan back when he like
wore the purple hat.
And like he is like very talented, but like one of the last I think that him and One Direction maybe are like the last like straight white guys who can be idols to girls, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
like BTS has replaced that.
And for him, and for Justin Bieber, he was he had his own bad boy phase, which was even more in the line of what happens to those stars as they age too. Look, I loved it when he was pissing in mop buckets and causing mayhem and spitting on fans. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, you know what? He's got to go through his own thing, right? You've been a star from a very, very young age. Scooter Braun, you know, Scooter. That was who it was, right? It was his producer, Scooter Braun.
It was the person that scouted him from his YouTube videos.
And he got found from YouTube. So you know, it is what it is.
I'm just wondering who is going to throw Harry Styles his coming out party.
Justin Timberlake. Somebody older has to do it, so Justin Timberlake can do it.
I don't know if it's ever going to happen because Harry Styles doesn't want to come out. He wants to continue queer baiting for money.
He wants to be on both sides of the spectrum there.
Yeah, he's really come out hundreds of times. We just didn't know.
Yeah, most likely. Well, I mean that, or maybe like Olivia Wilde was the guy in the relationship.
Possibly.
Harry pegged.
Possibly.
She had him pegged.
I wouldn't put it past her. I mean, I don't know if her relationship with Jason Sudeikis was very healthy.
I mean, she doesn't exactly strike me as the most well-adjusted person in the entire world. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, not the best at sustaining a healthy relationship.
Is she with someone? I think she's with someone else now too. Though I don't remember who. But she broke up with him. Who will she end up with next? Whoever, it'll be somebody in the next movie she makes, which nobody will go see.
Yeah.
Or no, are they gonna are they making a new Tron? I thought they might be making a new Tron. Maybe she'll be in that.
Oh yeah. So. I also saw this tweet, by the way, that I wanted to bring up. Someone said that the vibe at shows by Harry Styles and Louis Tomlinson are completely different, where people at Harry Styles concerts will give you dirty looks for carrying a pride flag. And at Louis Tomlinson's shows, it's like a pride fest.
Wait, why would they give them dirty looks?
I have no idea because Harry Styles is the most flamboyant, fruity man I've ever seen.
I'm going to source bro this one.
And then someone quote-tweeted it and said that Harry Styles, they're kind of saying the quiet part out loud here. Harry Styles made his shows all about helping fans coming out. His shows are a pride parade from both him and his fans.
So the fans are really just annoyed.
His concerts are the definition of a safe space. Well, y'all have an account dedicated to counting the days until Louis touches one. Yeah, a different vibe. I wouldn't want to go to any concert that is the definition of a safe space. That means that you are lame and your art sucks.
He's like, we were going to do a mosh pit, but we were worried that people were going to get hurt.
Whatever happened to like making art that feels transgressive and edgy?
It's nowadays, that doesn't exist anymore. It literally does. I mean, it does. Like, to be fair, it exists, but it exists in a realm where to be non-mainstream now, you have to be so offensive that...
I mean, even the genre of music that would have a mosh pit
rap music
has turned woke.
Rap music is where you go for transgressive music.
I wish Phil were here to back that up. Because it's the way that even heavy music has been appropriated and wokeified is like
rap
crazy.
Rap music is unabashedly
pro-misogynist. The people who have
pro-misogynist.
the least right to talk about wokeness, to preach to anyone, based on their track record, are turning the wokest. Like, the people who have the least right to preach about it, always.
It's a mask for them. You know, they won't come for me if I wear the veil. But rap music is still unabashedly pro-misogyny. I'm here for it. Like, there's...
I don't think they would like admit that out loud, but
they don't need to because it's just part of the culture. Like,
but I thought you said that you think that it's become too vulgar and it's not wholesome enough anymore. Like, I guess that's more R&B than rap. But.
No, yeah, those are not the same genres to me. Like, when I think of R&B, I think of like Boys to Men or All for One. That's not the same as listening to UGK or 8-Ball and MJG or Spice One or any of these rappers or anything like this, like back in the day. Like that, those are different genres entirely.
I just found this comment on the video of the coming out where someone seems like totally unaware of where we're at as a culture. They said, I like the sentiment behind this, but it's been pretty well established that the best way to come out to family about things like being LGBT is to not make a big spectacle about it. The we need to have a talk thing just makes it all the worse in most cases. It sets up some huge, dramatic, life-altering thing and primes parents for something horrible and dreadful. Kudos to Harry for being supportive, but if you're trying to come out, please don't do it this way.
Well, the kid wanted to come out this way.
The person that commented this is probably right, but they don't understand that it provides more social cachet to, you know, and like internet clout to come out at a Harry Styles concert and end up on TikTok than to do it in the privacy of your own home, which is where all of these other things supposedly happen. Now
that conversation happens and the parents are priming themselves to find out that the kid wants to go to trade school, but instead they're like, oh, you're just gay. Oh, thank God.
Mom, like, Dad, I want to be a welder.
I want to be a welder. Like, no, God, no.
I want to be an electrician.
Yeah, like...
please don't disown me.
What we actually want in society, what we actually need is harder working blue-collar people, but because these parents are like NIMBY neoliberals, they're like, they think that those people don't matter, so they're like, oh, thank God, our child is just gay. She still wants to go to a horrible 4-year college where she will spend $200,000.
She still wants to be an overeducated
journalist that nobody will care about and will be in debt for the next 30 years as she goes on Twitter in her 20s to complain about student debt relief.
I think sexuality needs to turn into something that we're ashamed of again.
Or at least just something where it's like it doesn't need to be talked about.
Because of shame, though. Because it's inherently private.
But it also used to be. But now it's a thing where it's like because it's no longer inherently like understood what it means when you talk about sexuality. It becomes a larger discussion because it used to be like you would just assume when a girl says I like someone, you knew what they were talking about. But now because you don't know. If it's a guy, girl, they, them, it invites further discussion, which makes it something that has to be talked about. This is one of those things that people do not understand, like how much, like when we talk about romantic comedies, like these things are no longer simple. You cannot make them simple anymore. And it means that a lot of stuff in the past was taken for granted.
You know the diminishing returns of like kids' birthday parties where like, you know, when you have your 8th birthday party, a year to you is a way longer time than it is for someone who is like 30 something.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we celebrate it more.
Yeah.
And that's why we throw a big to-do about kids' birthday parties. Then as the years go on, each birthday usually is less special or less of a big deal because you've lived longer.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes. But now we're at a point where the law of diminishing returns isn't applied to coming out. Like, coming out in the 80s, yeah, maybe that had a bit of a shock factor. Maybe that was a big deal for you.
Even in the 90s.
Maybe that was a turning point in your life. But then increasingly, from the 80s to the 90s, from the 90s to the 2000s, the 2000s to the 2010s, and now we're in the 2020s, we're expected to make more of a big to-do about it every single time that you come out.
Yeah.
And it's not shocking anymore.
Nope.
No one thinks that you're special because you're gay if everyone is gay.
Nor does it make the characters in movies and television special because
People
they're
just
gay.
want people to, like, others to throw a party about them and like make a cake for them. And it's like, sorry, you're not 12 anymore. Grow up.
We get it. You have sexual preferences. Go to work. I'm going to work. You go to work. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.